morning, you guys. So I wanted to come and do like a really quick update video because I realized that I never got back to you guys about my FET consult or my sonogram. So long story short, during the FET consult, the FET consultation, you go in with your doctor. They give you my doctor, she summarized the egg retrieval. We talked about the grading of our embryos. We have 2 BB embryos and 3 BC embryos. I've always known the grading. I just think I failed to mention it in previous videos. If you guys want a more thorough explanation of grading, I would be more than happy to do a video on it. But that's just the short version. Grading is used for the embryologist to determine what is the best quality embryo to implant on the day of transfer. We talked about the grading of the embryos. We discussed how many would be transferred at one time, and we decided that we will only transfer one at a time, starting with the BB embryos first since they are of the best quality. We discussed having my blood drawn for the CA-125 just to make sure that the endometriosis is under control and no signs of anything. I was pretty confident that there wouldn't be because I just had it checked back in January prior to starting stems, and then before that I had it checked in September, and it came back okay. I then asked questions about the fibroid, like would that be a problem, because as some of you know, not all fibroids is what caused my very first miscarriage back in 2016, and I would be lying if I said that I wasn't concerned about it. So it was something that I asked, and she guaranteed me that it's nothing to be concerned about because of the location of it. With my previous fibroids, which caused the myomectomy, they were surrounding the uterus and they were embedded within the wall of the uterus. So with this one, it's like below, it's at the very bottom. And I do have some pain during my cycle, but it's nowhere near what it was before I had that myomectomy procedure. What else did we discuss? She talked about my medications, the medications that she's going to be putting me on. So she decided she wanted me to do a natural medication cycle, and I will explain all of that in my medication video. I'm planning on doing a video about my medications, but I'm on a natural medicated FET cycle. Okay, so as I was saying, my cycle is very different from what they would usually do for a normal cycle at the facility. So after meeting with my doctor, I went in with my nurse, who usually go through the timeline. Typically, she would go through the timeline when you need to take this medication, that medication. But because my cycle is very different, we just went over the progesterone oil, little tips and tricks on, warming it up and how to inject it and where to inject it. From there, I then moved over to finance to discuss any financial matters, any final payments, and any at that point, if you have a balance, you will pay your balance. If you are paid in full, they will let you know you're paid in full. Whoop-de-whoop. So that's next. After that, that's it. So you meet with your doctor, you discuss the procedure, your protocol. And I'm sorry, I forgot to tell y'all that we went over the sonogram and what to expect during the sonogram and during the mock trial when I was talking with my doctor. So you go in with your doctor to discuss what's coming up, to discuss medications, to discuss concerns, to ask questions, all of that. From that point, you move over to your nurse. Your nurse will then go pretty much reiterate what your doctor said, but then go over in more detail with your schedule, as long as your cycle is normal. They will go over your schedule, go over the medications, how to administer said medications. Then from there, you would then move over to finance to discuss any financial obligations you may owe to the facility. Let's move on to Monday, the Saline Sonogram along with the mock trial. just as a disclaimer, I felt no pain. I did have mild cramping afterwards, but my definition of mild, my definition of pain-free is solely my definition. I will say, and this is kind of putting myself out there, but I will say, if you had a similar past like me, where you have dealt with endometriosis pain, you have dealt with fibroid pain, any type of chronic pelvic abdominal pain, I would personally say you would be fine. Honestly, my HSG was worse than this. So that's just my disclaimer. So you go in, they have all the padding. I do have a picture so that I can insert, but they have all the padding on the bed. And first thing she did was inserted the speculum, the same one that they insert you for your pap smear. She cleaned around my cervix. Then she inserted the little catheter that shoots out the saline. She inserted the saline solution. Just an FYI, please make sure your bladder is full. As long as your bladder is full, you shouldn't have any complications. My bladder was not full to capacity. It, maybe a third, if that. And so she had some issues locating the catheter that she inserted with the spec that she had inside of me. So she had to remove the speculum and insert the other one that you use for your transvaginal ultrasound. And then from there, and with changing the dials and the depths and stuff on the little scan box, she was able to locate the catheter, because the problem came because she could not see the catheter with the spec that she had. So she had to do the little manual one where she could see exactly where she inserted the catheter. The saline solution is inserted. It's inserted inside of your uterus, and she's just checking to make sure there's no abnormalities, like that you're good to go. And she didn't see anything that was wrong. My uterus looked good. My cervix looked good. The fibroid was not an issue, so we were good. At the same time, she's also measuring where on the uterus she's going to implant the embryo. So she had to take a couple of pictures. And I will say again, I did feel a pinch with the catheter, because it is a very small, tiny needle-like catheter that's being inserted. So that was a pinch or so, and I would say there was discomfort. I did have some mild cramping afterwards, but it wasn't nothing too crazy. I did take some ibuprofen before going. So just make sure your bladder is full. Be sure to take some type of pain medication, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours prior to your procedure. And you know your body and how long it takes for medications to kick in. So if you have to take it a little earlier, then take it a little earlier, just so you can be a little relaxed. But all in all, that was it. Everything came back good. My uterus looked good, cervix looked good. She did say that she wants my lining to be at least 8 millimeters. So that's where we are. Again, I will give you guys a more thorough update on my medications and where we are, because currently, as y'all are viewing this video, I am on day 3 of letrozole. So I will provide you guys with an update of any symptoms or anything I'm having in that medication video. But thank you guys for taking the time out of your day or your evening, wherever you're watching this, to hang out with me. I greatly appreciate it. And as always, be humble, stay beautiful, be blessed. Until the next video. Bye.